Today, we're going to be talking about how to accomplish what you want. And I'm going to be piggybacking on uh, stuff that Dave Whitley spoke about in last week's Whiskey Wednesday, the interview I did with Dave, which if you haven't seen that, wow, what amazing content that was. And I'm so grateful for Dave and the time he spent with us. Today, while my approach is a little bit different than Dave's, it reaches the same result. Okay, and so what I'm going to be talking about is are these two ingredients that you need to accomplish anything. All right, now keep in mind that what Dave says in terms of your thought and how what you think about you become, and if we just change our mind can tell the body what to do, and we can have superhuman powers, right? And become superhuman and essentially reach our fullest potential, whatever that looks like for each of us. And so that is a foregone conclusion. We broke that down last week. Dave did a great job. Many of you mentioned what a fabulous um, piece of content that was, in the 40 minutes that you spent engaging with it was very, very helpful. So let's talk about the two ingredients. But first, before we get to that, I want to tell you a little story. I may have told some of you this in passing. Some of you who are my clients, I've spoken of this, told you the story. Um, but I wanted, since I was a little boy, I wanted to be a professional baseball player. That was my goal in life. I started playing the position of catcher at the age of 5. Okay, at the age of 5, I was like, I'll put that gear on. I'll get back there. I'm not scared. When really I was, and I loved it so much I never played any other position until until junior college, where my coach thought I should have been a shortstop. And the one game I played at shortstop, I booted a routine double play ball that lost us the game, and that was the last time he ever mentioned that position and my name in the same sentence again. But I I had it in my mind that I was going to be a Major League Baseball player. That was that was it. That's what I was going to do. Um, and so I went about thinking about that, much to what the Dave was talking about last week. I spent a lot of time. Hey, Peter, how are you, brother? I spent a lot of time thinking about becoming a Major League Baseball player. I spent most of my downtime working towards that goal, meaning I was either out playing long toss, developing my arm strength, or I was in the batting cage trying to become a better hitter. Um, but there was just one little piece that I didn't have. I had the ingredient of restraint. I had the ingredient of training myself and disciplining myself to the trade and all of those things, but I lacked self confidence in my abilities. And you might be thinking, how did you make it all the way to play in the New York Yankees organization and not be confident in your abilities? Yeah, interesting, but that's the truth. Like I can remember in college and going to D1, from going from junior college to Division 1, and first couple days of practice, I'm watching the other catchers throw, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, these guys can really get it. It was the first time I'd really felt less than in terms of baseball and being a catcher. And so I thought that I had to go out and bust my butt and earn my way to play, right? I had no idea the strength at which I could throw a baseball because I only saw the ball from my perspective, right? My perspective was the ball leaving my hand and going away from me. My perspective in watching the other catchers was seeing the ball travel longitudinally, right, from left to right, and it looked really fast. I had no idea that I could throw much harder and much faster than most other people. So I lacked self confidence. That self confidence played itself out in many facets in my baseball career. When I got to the New York Yankees organization, they put me in rookie ball right out of the gate, and they said, "Hey, you're the guy you're going to catch." I was like, "Awesome!" So I went about doing my thing, and Felt good, felt confident, mainly because I was 22 years old and I was playing with a bunch of 17 and 18-year-olds, so I felt really confident. Um, and then some, you know, upper management guy's son who was in the organization wasn't getting playing time somewhere, and they moved him to rookie ball, and I went to the bench. I did not see it for what it was. I took it as I'm not good enough. I don't have the skills yet. They moved me to advanced level A ball, and I didn't really get to play that much, and it really hurt me. So my point to all this is to say that the thing that I was lacking was self-confidence. I had the discipline and the self-control to put in the work. And and I forced myself to get better each and every day. But that one ingredient of self-confidence that was missing hurt my ability to advance in the system and to make my way to the major leagues, my ultimate goal. Now, the flip side of that is something else that I'm doing now. Okay, I am working on a program called 75 Hard. I've shared a little bit about this. I've talked about it a little bit, not so much in this group, but basically it's 75 straight days consistently of doing two 45-minute workouts, and one of those has to be outdoors. Um, Drinking a gallon of water, reading 10 pages in a book. It has to be in a physical book. Uh, Following a diet, no alcohol, no cheat meals, and I have to take a progress pic. So I have to do that consistently for 75 straight days. I'm in day 9 right now. I am confident that I can do this because of my abilities in terms of my physical fitness. I've always been in physical fitness. Personal training is in my background. I've got the knowledge to be able to apply what I need to apply to do the workouts. I've got the ability to do all that, right? I have confidence in myself, in my abilities to do the workouts, to drink the water, to read the pages in the book, etc. I love reading, right? Literary is my number one interest. So reading, it's like, yeah, 10 pages, I can breeze through that. So I can do that. Where I am struggling and where I need this extra, and the reason why I'm doing 75 Hard is because I felt like I needed this to um, improve my discipline. I need the self-control. I need the discipline, and I need the ability. I need to be able to prove to myself through discipline, through restraint, that I can do this for 75 straight days. So I tell those two stories, and I know that's a little long-winded, but I tell those two stories to illustrate the point of these two ingredients. You can have one and not the other, and it's going to be hard to accomplish what you have in your mind to come out to happen. All right. And those two ingredients are self-confidence and self-control. Self-confidence, self-control. So what is self-confidence? Well, it's basically just the confidence in your own powers and abilities. Okay. Now, the way we gain self-confidence is and develop self-confidence is through a very simple process that starts with awareness. Without self-awareness, right? How can you be confident in your powers and abilities if you are not aware of what your abilities are? If you're not aware of what your weaknesses are, if you're not aware of everything about you, okay? That awareness of your abilities, of your limitations, of your desires, of your thoughts, your attitudes, your feelings, everything, the choices you make, that awareness leads you to personal responsibility. You then become responsible for self. You then understand the power that you have and you take responsibility for it. And through that responsibility, you realize that you have to do something about it. So you take action. So self-awareness leads to personal responsibility, which leads to you taking action towards something or the desire, whatever it is that you are set out to do. All right. And through that action, you are going to fail or succeed. The result of that action will reinforce your awareness. And all it's going to do is keep the cycle going. So it's like you start with awareness, you go to personal responsibility, you take action. What was the result of that action? It reinforces or teaches you more about yourself. You become more aware. And that's how you build and gain self-confidence. Okay? Now, when we look at self-control, the word that I want to kind of pull out of that is the word discipline. Okay, and discipline is defined as orderly or prescribed conduct or pattern of behavior. Okay, discipline is about self-control. Self-control is about discipline. And if we look at the root word of discipline, it comes from the Latin word discipulus, which means pupil, okay? Student. It means to be educated or train. So self-control, right, is defined as restraint exercised over one's own impulses, emotions, or desires. It's literally realizing that you're not in control and then harnessing the power that you have and training yourself, right, to train or develop by instruction and exercise to impose order upon so that you then become self-controlled, disciplined, right? I almost lost my train of thought there. And now what you have is you have confidence in your abilities and your powers, and you have the discipline to train towards, educate yourself on, and put forth the actions that are going to lead to the order that is going to bring about the result. Okay? So to accomplish anything you want to accomplish, doesn't matter what it is. You have a goal. You know, Dave talked about this last week in his theory and methodology, and he backs it up very well. And I 100% agree with him. I'm just sharing you a different perspective in what I believe. And I think in order for you to accomplish anything that you want, number one, you have to think about it. You have to be aware of it. Awareness is number one. Number two, you have to have boundaries. You have to take personal responsibility and ownership for that which is yours. And then you have to literally train yourself and impose order to get to that desired result. Without action, you cannot get there. So you have to, blending my philosophy and Dave's philosophy, you have to imagine what it is you want in detail. You have to bring it to life in your mind. Then you have to take personal responsibility for your own abilities and that awareness of your abilities. You have to train yourself and impose order in areas that you need to improve on. And then you need to take action on those things. And if you can follow that, you will accomplish anything. So my two ingredients, the two ingredients, you can't have one without the other. If you have one and don't have the other, you will not accomplish what you want. Those two ingredients, self-control and self-confidence. And if you work on developing both of those, you can accomplish anything.